with winds south-southwest at 7 miles an hour in my little area of the trapezoid. We are having some fun here and hanging out. There's some sun behind me getting through the trees. Tree leaves will likely be changing color in the next 4 to 6 weeks into something that I find absolutely beautiful, and I do plan on heading out and documenting some tree leaves at some parks potentially in the area, because I just think that that is one of the most beautiful things on the trapezoid, as I've been accosted by a bee. That was terrifying. That was genuinely terrifying, and I did not like that. Seattle Mariners' first pitch is against the Sacramento Athletics in approximately 51 minutes, live from T-Mobile Park in Seattle. I don't think I'll be going live for it. However, there are some times in the future where I do plan on doing that, and potentially if we make the playoffs. We had a 22% better chance of making the playoffs as the division winner, just over 9 days ago, before losing 7 out of 8 games in a very unfortunate way. And now we've lost 8 out of 9 after last night's 2-1 loss in 10 to the Athletics after Victor Robles came back from suspension, and unfortunately he was one of the players to get a hit, but he did not execute the sacrifice bunt that was called from the dugout, popping up to catcher Shea Langoliers. Hanging out outside today feels really nice. Not sure what tomorrow brings other than going to my orthopedic doctor, because I will be going ahead and getting my MRI reviewed, and that sounds genuinely exciting to learn what the hell is wrong with my spine, because my spine has been bothering me for years. And I think there's a good chance we learn that there is a massive tear in one of my intervertebral discs. My physical therapist believes that it's L4, L5 potentially. L4, L5, or L5S1 due to the symptoms that I was having, especially with pain in the hips and reduced hip mobility at times. Yesterday, went to campus, did some club stuff, and it helped out with a bunch of stuff for the club. At over 200 people interested in starting Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, which is really good. Hello, Chavez. I just took a trip to the corner store. I wanted some snacks today. Hello, Megan. How are you? How are we today? I just took a trip to the corner store to get some snacks and some root beer. I'm stressed out, so I do this when I'm stressed, and I know it's not the healthiest thing, but I am working on it. I'll snack and I'll drink sugary beverages. Yeah, I got Doritos. Doritos. Doritos are delicious. The spicy sweet chili Doritos, those are absolutely delicious. And I got a root beer. They are. There was also a new flavor called Loaded Taco, and I was like, today's not the day that I want to try a new flavor of Doritos, but that does sound very, very interesting. Overall, I think that that's probably a very interesting flavor and very tasty, but not today. Yeah, I saw it at the corner store. I'm not going to go back to the corner store just to get a video of it, because that would just take too much time, and they'd probably be like, why are you back? You were just here. Cool Ranch is good. I just like spice. I really like spice. I'll eat Cool Ranch, but I really, really like my spice. Spice is one of the great things about being human, is that like most mammals can't eat capsaicin, and technically it is kind of poisonous to us too. It's just we can handle it, and it's really good. Takis? No, I've never eaten Takis. Kind of heard that there was some issues with the Taki sandwich at Wendy's. I heard that might be partially what happened to King Cobra JFS, which is pretty sad if that's what happened, where he had like bad Taki sandwich and he ended up passing away from it. It's always sad when somebody passes away, especially at such a young age. like, obviously, like, my grandpa's on hospice, so when he passes, which might be soon, might not, we don't really know, but when he passes, we'll be like, okay, he's not suffering anymore. The cancer's gone, and he's just, gone, and he's not suffering anymore. So that's like a little bit of a different situation because he's 84 years old. So it's like, okay, we're just done with that. And that's a whole situation that's been going on for over a year. He's got bladder cancer. He's got dementia. He's got gallstones. He's got kidney stones. We don't even know how he's still kicking. We don't even know how he's still kicking, and it's frustrating to just look at him and be like, well, what's your medical opinion? And the doctor's like, well, my medical opinion is he's dying, but we don't know when. Your uncle got a new kidney? No, he's 85. He's 84 years old. He's not getting a new kidney. But I'm glad your uncle was able to get a new kidney. I'm glad your uncle was able to get a new kidney. Yeah, he's 85 and he's dying, which is not, like, he lived a pretty decent life, and he's been sick with the dementia for about, what is it now, 18 years? So it's been a while. Thanks. But yeah, kidney transplants, they're pretty advanced what they can do with kidney transplants these days. And with like the whole immunosuppressant drugs they got, you can live a pretty long life without having that kidney rejected or anything. Lung transplants too. I know a few people who've had I don't directly know them. Yeah, Canada does offer medical assistance in dying, but even with my grandpa, he's not qualified for that. Even if we did offer it here, because he's got dementia, so legally speaking, he can't do anything with that. Yeah, so legally speaking, my grandpa can't do anything like that. Any sort of like medical assistance in dying or anything like that, which is fine, because like travel to Europe maybe someday. Thank you, Lisa. So yeah, so I'd love to travel to Europe. Greece is right now one of the places I really want to go, which is great. Greece is one of those places where it's absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Plenty of cool historical stuff that you can go ahead and take a look at in Greece. There's obviously the Parthenon. There's the sun's above the trapezoid. The sun the sun actually goes ahead and it orbits the trapezoid, which is pretty cool for it to be able to do. Because like we know that the Earth is a trapezoid, and we all know that there's the trapezoid is probably the only logical shape for anything to be in space. Like obviously we've seen that the moon is like, you know, I don't know if you know this, but drugs do not cause people to understand the shape of the earth. In fact, I believe that it's the people who take too many drugs who do not understand that the shape of the earth, because people take too many drugs and are not woke and are all going and figuring out that the earth is round, and they're just wrong. They're absolutely just wrong. No, we haven't. We've never seen the earth. We have never seen the earth. We have never seen the earth in the history of the whole planet in space or anything. It's never been a thing that's seen, and it never will be. It is impossible. It is absolutely impossible to see the earth. It is impossible to leave the earth in a spacecraft. Spacecraft are not real. I don't care what NASA and Elon Musk tell you. Spacecraft are not real, never will be real, and there is no such thing as a spacecraft, and it is impossible for you to get out of the earth. The moon isn't even round. The moon's actually an octagon. We know that the sun is a hexagon. GPS isn't real. GPS is a conspiracy theory to keep you relying on the government. GPS is a conspiracy theory that the government has put on you to ensure that you still have to rely on them. And with that, you end up having to get on welfare. And it's absolutely ridiculous. The reason why we have all this woke Democrat nonsense is because people believe the earth is round and people believe in GPS. And it's just absolutely wrong. We can't be having this woke Democrat nonsense anymore. We need people to understand that the earth is a trapezoid, always has been, always will be. And we need people to understand that giraffes came from the bottom of the trapezoid, grew long necks so that they could get over the bottom of the trapezoid, and realized that Africa is a great place to be a giraffe. They realized that Africa is a great place to be a giraffe, and they just decided to stay there. And that's why we have giraffes in Africa, and everywhere else where there's a giraffe, they're miserable. Now, going back to this whole spaceship nonsense. Spaceships are woke, democratic nonsense to get people to believe that there's some way that we could get off the earth and maybe protect the earth and go and be on another planet. It is woke, democratic, imperialist nonsense that tells me that the government is just trying to get us to make sure that we can do whatever we want here while we destroy the whole earth on our own so that they can take everything over. We know that. We know that those rich people in Congress, those rich Democrats, are trying to take the earth over. And they put Elon Musk in government to try to get you to believe in spaceships and space and the idea of going to Mars. We absolutely know that. We absolutely know that spaceships are not real. Elon Musk says, yeah, his spaceships exploded. No, those weren't spaceships exploding. Elon Musk didn't launch a car into space. There is no space. There was only the trapezoid and the sun, which is a hexagon. We all know that the sun, which is right behind me, is hexagonal shaped. We all know that the earth is trapezoidal shaped. It's one of the most important fundamental things about being an American. You know that the sun is a hexagon, the earth is a trapezoid, America is real and the greatest country on earth, and it was created when the universe was created when the universe was created on July 4th, 1776. You might be like, well, what about Jesus? Well, Jesus was created by America. America created Jesus so that we'd have history leading up to the foundation of America. That's why America created Jesus on July 4th, 1776, the same day America created the earth. Another very important thing to remember is that New Zealand is the moon of the United States of America. We're not going to talk about Australia at this point because that's a whole other thing. You can't go to a spaceship launch because there aren't spaceship launches. You can't launch a spaceship When you see them launching a spaceship, that's them launching classified files the CIA doesn't want you to know about, and destroying them. You might think there's people on there, but no, that's CIA holograms. Those people you think you see on a spaceship, no, those are CIA holograms. CIA holograms, and that's very important to know that those are CIA holograms, because the CIA doesn't want you to know about half the things the CIA did. The CIA doesn't want you to know that they wrote the Bible. That's right, they sat down and they wrote the Bible. All about Israel, all about the Israelites, all about everybody. The CIA sat down and wrote the Bible so that way America and England would all know what was going on. And then they made up this whole Revolutionary War thing so that way America would look like the good guys, because they knew that they were going to be good guys. 10,000 cigarettes? No, I don't want any cigarettes. I don't want any cigarettes. You know what I want? I want to know why people believe the earth is round. I don't understand. I guarantee you 97% of the people, there's 261 people in here, so I guarantee you out of the 261 people in here, only 4 of them don't understand that the earth is not round. Science is woke democratic nonsense. Science is woke democratic nonsense trying to tell you that the Bible's not real. We all know that the Bible is real. That's why we need to bring the Bible back into our schools. That's the only book we should be teaching in schools, is the Bible. What we should do, we should be teaching the Bible, biblical math, biblical values in school. That's the most important thing. We know that the Bible talks about the firmament, and we know that that's kind of true, because that's what's keeping us from going out and exploring the rest of this so-called universe, is the firmament. It's all around a trapezoid. No, the earth ain't round. You can look right in the Bible. It doesn't say the earth is round. It says it's a trapezoid. It's right there in Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the trapezoid, which was the earth. Right there, Genesis 1:1. Right there. Right there, it said that. I'm not being blasphemous. You can't be blasphemous when the CIA is God. That's right, the CIA is God. And the FBI is Jesus. They don't want you to know this, but the FBI is actually Jesus Christ. The FBI is Jesus Christ. The FBI is Jesus Christ. You can find out more about that on my subscription platforms, which you can find at the link in the description below. You can find out more about the FBI being Jesus Christ. It's a very important thing. We all got to understand that the FBI is Jesus Christ. The CIA is God, and the CIA made sure to write the Bible. You know how they had that part where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac to God? Yeah, the CIA wrote that. You think ancient Israelites wrote that? No, the CIA wrote that. And you know what? Ancient isn't even a thing. The world's only 249 years old. It'll be 250 years old when America celebrates the 250th birthday of it creating the earth next year. One of the most wonderful things that ever happened was America creating the earth. In the beginning of God, the CIA creating the heavens and the earth, there was America. And America is the greatest thing of all time. Yes, I have one. It's at the link in my bio. You can go ahead and check it out. It's $6.99 a month. Is ICE Noah? No. ICE is a new thing. ICE is a new thing, and Donald Trump kind of screwed that up. So ICE was supposed to be talking about the space aliens that are supposed to be coming down and taking over the Vatican next year. But instead, Donald Trump got confused and got racist and decided to use ICE for evil. And unfortunately, now we got to deal with that. That's the whole thing. Like, yeah, the Democrats are woke and doing nonsense. And that's going to cost us, because the space aliens are going to come down and take over the Vatican in 5 years, because we don't have anything to stop them. But at this point, yeah. Earth is not a square, it's a trapezoid. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. ICE was invented by the NSA. Well, that's rather an interesting theory. I'm not 100% sure on that. because we got to talk to the NSA about a bunch of things. I don't got to show proof. The burden of proof is on the round earthers, because that's the accepted nonsensical woke scientific theory, or whatever the hell they want to call it these days. It's absolutely ridiculous. The link is in the description, and it's in the description if you want to go there. Go ahead and check it. $6.99 a month. The flat earth theory has evolved. No, the flat earth theory don't exist. There aren't any flat earthers. And you know what? Send this video to Simon Dan. I want Simon Dan to try and debunk the trapezoid, because I don't think he can. I don't think Simon Dan can debunk the trapezoid. He can try with all of his woke nonsense and faxes nothing and nonsense. What's beyond the ice wall? What ice wall are you talking about? There's no ice wall. There's just the bottomlands, which is where giraffes come from. They got elves there now. Santa Claus don't live at the North Pole, because there ain't no North Pole. Santa Claus lives in the bottomlands. Santa Claus lives in the bottomlands, and it's the best place for Santa Claus to live until he can go move to Neptune, but that's a whole other thing, because we got the firmament keeping us on Earth. That's why there's no spaceships, because there's firmament. Firmament keeps us on Earth, and it's ridiculous. The CIA stole a lot of things, including Santa Claus's elves. There's no such thing as NASA. There's absolutely no such thing as NASA. NASA's not a real thing. NASA was invented by the government in 1961 to cover up the fact that John F. Kennedy wanted to nuke the moon. And then John F. Kennedy realized you can't nuke the moon because it's not there in the way that we think it is. You can find out all this information in the anime Gurren Lagann. Now, the Earth is not flat. It's a three-dimensional trapezoid, also known as a trapezoidal prism. Trapezoidal prisms are one of the best things ever. I think trapezoidal prisms are the best shape for a planet and everything. Oh, sweet. Mariners game coming up in a moment. Pre-game show is going to be coming up, and it looks like I think Ryan Roland Smith is going to be the one doing the dugout interviews, and at the Ford Sports Desk, where Brad Adam usually is, because I think that it's going to be Aaron Goldsmith, Angie Mentink, and Brad Adam in the booth today, which is really going to be interesting for us. Also, baseball wouldn't work on a sphere Earth. It only works on a trapezoid. You can just ask J.P. Crawford about that. Did you just say anime isn't real? No, anime's real. Anime's some of the most real stuff ever. You can learn so many lessons from anime. Believe in the me that believes in you. One of the best things ever. Anime is one of the best things ever. You can learn so much stuff. Thank you for the reactions. We're going to hopefully try to get this up to 1,000 people here watching before I go off live at 15:45 local time in about 12 minutes. And the reason I'm doing that is so I can get in the house and set up for the baseball game for the Mariners. The Mariners are a great baseball team this season, unfortunately. Unfortunately, though, some of the nonsense happening with them has made me realize that the Earth being a trapezoid is the most important thing in the world. Anime is the most real thing in the world. No, the CIA didn't make anime. Yeah, I'd like to see the Dodgers beat the Padres. I'd like to see the Dodgers and Padres go 16 innings tonight, because the Mariners play the Padres tonight. Is the Earth flat? No, absolutely. The Earth is not flat. It is not round. It is not an oblate spheroid. It is not a donut. It is not a rhombus. It is a trapezoidal prism. You don't think I could name a single factually true thing? 2 + 2 = 4. It's my educational background. I have 17 PhDs in the shape of the Earth. There is no evidence that any celestial body is round. There is, in fact, no evidence that round exists. There is, in fact, no evidence that circles or spheres or the concept of roundness exists. It is woke nonsense invented by the Democrats. And it's absolutely ridiculous that the Democrats are able to control the narrative on everything, from the shape of the Earth to the people who are allowed to be given access to certain files about certain things. Now, yeah, I know Donald Trump might be like, yeah, there's files, but the Democrats stole those files. I guarantee you the Democrats stole those files off Pam Bondi's desk so that they could doctor them and get Bill Clinton's name off of them. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Absolutely ridiculous what the Democrats did. No, a ball isn't round. You ever seen a football? That's the only proper shape of a ball. That's not a circle, nor is it orange. It's tangerine, and it's a square. It's a tangerine square. There's absolutely no such thing as a square. MK Ultra. What does MK Ultra got to do with anything? There's no MK Ultra nonsense. You think I work for the CIA? You think I would work for the CIA who's trying to suppress the truth about the shape of the Earth? The CIA runs the global economy, and we all know that. Basketball's not real. LeBron James was invented by the CIA. LeBron James is the first functional AI, and they made him so that he could be good at basketball. Absolutely ridiculous. Because honestly, when you look at LeBron, and this has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Like, honestly, one thing you can do is if you see somebody who hates LeBron, you can tell. If they hate LeBron because of anything other than basketball, they're probably racist. I hate LeBron because of the 2016 NBA Finals, where the CIA manipulated the 2016 NBA Finals so that LeBron would be the best basketball player in that finals, would get Draymond Green suspended, and would cost my Golden State Warriors that championship and make them blow a 3-1 lead. Absolutely hate LeBron because of that. I cannot stand LeBron. LeBron knows he didn't earn that 2016 finals. LeBron knows there was game manipulation. LeBron knows that Aisha Curry was right. LeBron knows the CIA did it. LeBron knows that the CIA controls Adam Silver. LeBron even knows that the CIA controls Rob Manfred, Gary Bettman, and Roger Goodell. LeBron knows that, and LeBron knows that if he ever admits that to anybody, LeBron loses everything. And we find out that LeBron actually isn't even human. He's a robot. He's an android, like Data from Star Trek. Whatever pays the bills, like Data from Star Trek. It's absolutely ridiculous that we have to deal with LeBron being put out there by the CIA in a way that makes it so that we have to, as Golden State Warriors fans, know that we should have won that 2016 championship, but we didn't because of the damn CIA. Yeah, the CIA built LeBron, just like how the Chinese Communist Party genetically engineered Yao Ming as a response to Shaq. I don't know if LeBron is. I don't know if LeBron does that, but I would assume that LeBron does that. He's LeBron. And I would assume that the CIA made the robot so that the robot had basal human desires. Physical proof, not a subscription? What does that even mean? Does that mean you're not going to subscribe until I provide you physical proof that LeBron is a robot? I'm not going to LA to prove LeBron is a robot. Just walk up to LeBron, be like, execute command function shut down 24 hours. You ever wondered how LeBron doesn't get injured? Or when he does get injured, he gets healed so quick? It's because the CIA just fixes the robot. Giannis is cool. I think he's a pretty cool dude. No, Giannis isn't a robot. Who made Jordan? Nike. Nike created Jordan. They even admitted it. Like, literally, there's a whole documentary about how Nike created Jordan. 5 plus 5 is 10. Is the CIA? No, the CIA is going to retire LeBron the year after next. So 2 more years, because after that, they're going to force feminize LeBron and de-age LeBron so that LeBron can play in the WNBA. It's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be a whole thing. LeBron's going to bring the NBA to prominence. LeBron's going to set every record, have a rivalry with Caitlin Clark. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great. Only thing, though, is Shaq is going to go and be absolutely unhinged about it. But we already knew that Shaq was unhinged because, well, there was that time that Shaq shoved his teammate's toothbrush up his ass. If this isn't a GTA 6, you're going to crash out. Well, the government's trying to ban GTA 6. These woke Democrats trying to ban video games. I'm tired of that nonsense. Is it going to be unfair if LeBron plays at the WNBA? Nah, it's not going to be unfair because what they'll do is they'll say it can't be unfair because it's LeBron. You can let LeBron do whatever he wants, and the CIA will do all this nonsense. And the CIA is going to do all this nonsense with LeBron. Yeah, the CIA is complicated with LeBron. And the WNBA, because they're losing all this money, they lose. I think for the first time in history, they actually made like $8 last year. And Caitlin Clark was responsible for 97% of that $8. I think the other, 3%, which is like, 26 cents? Not even that. Yeah, Santa is real. Santa is real, and he's actually not Satan. A lot of people get that confused between Santa and Satan, but no, Santa is not technical Satan. Although there are complicated ways where if you're reading about Santa in Hebrew, you can actually cause him to be known as Satan. Santa lives in the bottomlands, which is the same place the giraffes came from. Very important to know that about Santa Claus. Santa Claus is one of the most important people in the history of the United States, history of the world. But anyway, I'd like to thank all of you for joining me. I will be probably back on live sometime tomorrow or maybe tonight, depending on how I feel. I am about to go watch the